It does.
And we're live.
Yeah. What's up,
we're
live?
We're not live.
We're live.
Alright, if you say so. What is up, gamers, miners, and dwarves? It's Tuesday, the 25th of March, a classic month, one of the top 12 months of the year, frankly. And we're back playing Deep Rock Galactic. If you are tuning in on Twitch or YouTube, you are listening to the mellifluous sounds of my voice, GSG Aaron, Marketing Manager here at Ghost Ship Games. Today I have the exquisite pleasure, the lifetime's honor, to be joined by my two brothers and indeed colleagues and best friends. Video producer and formerly world's youngest baby, GSG Mark, is here. Hello, Mark.
What's up?
Congrats for the trophy, Mark.
And community manager and graduate of the St. Benedict Institute for Overly Polite Boys, GSG Jacob, is joining us here as
Thank
well.
you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Right,
There must have been a mistake on that one. Can we discuss that real quick, Jacob?
Thank you for your opinion, but politely, fuck off, Mark.
The Institute's meant to cure him of his over-politeness. A lot of Canadians get sent there. And
It's good to be back.
It's a beautiful thing to be back, Mark. I mean, back in the sense that we aren't getting, it's just that there's been 4 days, or that we're not getting internet interrupted yet.
Don't
4 days, right?
jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Mm.
It has
We
been.
should-
We streamed Thursday, right? But we were interrupted midway through.
I think we skipped Thursday.
Did we skip Thursday? Oh, we skipped Thursday. That's
yeah,
right.
we skipped Thursday.
Wait, wasn't it the dev show and tell we skipped?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
When are we doing the dev show and tell instead?
I have that in the calendar for next month. Speaking of next month is called April. And if you're watching and if you are a regular stream viewer, you may know that we publish the stream calendar on Discord and as well as in the Ghost Ship newsletter. But if you've got some ideas for what we should stream, a themed stream, something we could do in Deep Rock Galactic, pop it in the chat, and maybe I'll take your idea and I won't pay you for it. So, anyway,
As
this
is tradition.
maybe lifetime. Yeah, as is tradition, baby. Noob Screw over on Twitch says stream frozen for anyone else. Oh my God, don't let it start now. We should have a disclaimer here that if our internet cuts out or the stream is acting weird, it's because something is afoot with our router
I think we're okay.
at the office. Are we okay?
I'm not seeing any YouTube chat.
Okay.
That's just
I'm
me.
seeing YouTube chat.
Okay.
I've got Frail Snail with the Musty Emoji. I've got Furious
It's
Darkness
for
who says
most
Rock
people.
and Stone.
We've got Sad the Voices in chat. We've got Night Elf Bane. What's up, dude? Welcome back. We've got Heyo Ray
We have Chris.
to the dev stream.
I wonder if Chris is going to show up, man. It's been like a few weeks since we've seen him.
He was here a little while back. We just missed him, I think.
Oh no.
It's kind of sad.
It's more than kind of sad. It's frankly
Anyway,
tragic.
chat, how are you guys doing?
I'm personally hoping we'll see Levi on Facebook.
Yeah, Levi from Facebook is also another.
The one guy
Great
carrying our
chat
Facebook
boy.
stream.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier, or on the stream calendar, that today is a Rogue Core Q&A themed stream, and we've got Dr. Mike, aka the tallest Mike in the office. It will be joining us later. Mike is not game director, lead game designer.
Lead game designer, yeah.
Yeah, lead game designer on Rogue Core. Mr. Mike is joining us a little later to answer all of your Rogue Core style of questions. But for now, feel free to let it rip. We'll try our best to answer them, and then if they get too technical, we'll save them for Mike. But if you're wondering on what we're working on Rogue Core, what's coming up, what isn't coming up, stuff like that, feel free to let her rip. We can start with Endwar Cold over on YouTube, who says, how many classes are there in Rogue Core, and how many are there planned? Right now, there are 4 in the game. There were
Low gravity. Shit.
There was some mention of the Gorgon class a while back in certain streams, and that's been cut because it just didn't. We couldn't figure out a way to make it fun or like balanced or good. So it's.
So what you're saying is it's Gorgon?
It is. It's Gorgon. It's Gore no more. So right now it's 4. I think we're not necessarily like. How do I phrase this? we can't promise there will be more than 4, but we're also not like committed to there has to be only 4 in Rogue Core. Kind of depends on what we can cook up and how fun it is.
Request accepted. Stand clear. Humpjack inbound.
Ah!
Yeah,
Dude,
I'm
getting...
working on this Betsy. 1 second.
Yes, me too.
She's trying to escape from me.
Mark, it's rare that you're playing Scout.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Do you?
I love Scout. Yeah.
How come you never play Scout?
Because Jacob always plays Scout.
It's because I've always been forced to play Scout because everyone picks the other classes first. You know this, man.
I will gladly play more Scout because he's actually one of the characters I need more levels on.
Oh, so it's out of need
Even
now.
them out. Yeah. No, it's also out of a desire to play Scout.
Would you say a lust for Scout, Mark?
Yeah. A deep,
Okay, cool.
Deep lust.
Awesome. Great, man. I love that connection with this game.
Yeah.
Scout simp.
Xbox Moon Knight over on Twitch says, any chance that in future updates the dwarves can place signs for direction or even spray paint arrows? I have a friend that has a Fantasia, which can't visually see in mind's eye, so getting lost is very easy. That's
interesting.
That's the one guy without a skill issue.
A new thing that I didn't know, a Fantasia, which can't visually see. Is that where you're like incapable of having like a, you know, the thing where like people can't visualize an apple or whatever is the example you used? Is that what that means? That you don't have like a visual imagination? Anyway, to get to the question, I think it's probably not something that we would implement in the game, like from here. But there may be like a mod already. If you play on PC, I'd recommend checking out the. Check out wherever you get your mods.
And also, one thing that you might not be aware of is you can actually, when you press X on your little keyboard, your dwarf will shout out and get a little outline around him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you can do
second.
that. Otherwise, also if you have the laser pointer out, you can press E and place a permanent marker, which you can kind of use for wayfinding.
Yeah, but that's only for yourself, though.
That's true.
But if you
Well,
help
but
yourself, you'll help
I
others.
guess you could suggest your friend to use that one.
Yeah. Give that a shot.
But yeah, if you press X, you will get outlined as if you were laser pointed by someone. And I guess you can use that as like a waypoint too.
You guys like the.
Do you want to demonstrate real quick, Jacob? If you look at me.
I already have. Wait, where are you at? I can't
Also,
look. I
we're
can't see you, Mark.
That's right. I'm behind this little. But when I shout out by pressing X,
Yeah.
you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Jacob! Ow! Oh,
Ladies and
That was
gentlemen.
a pretty good shot. Gotta give him that.
And the reason you could place that shot was because I was pressing X, Jacob. Isn't it wonderful?
No, it's because I have
Such a neat
eyes.
feature.
Eyes and an inner hatred.
Damn.
Damn. It'll pass.
Oh, that's good to know.
A person whose name is in Cyrillic, so I can't pronounce it, says, will there be items or artifacts in Rogue Core? If so, will they be stackable or will they be unique? For example, an object that allows you to see better in the dark. I mean, there are... Let's see here. How to address that question? There are, like... Mark, how would you call the upgrades you get from, like, bio boosters and stuff? There are, like, character upgrades you can get through a run that give you this... that can give you some of the effects you're describing. There's
Yeah,
nothing
what was the
specific.
question again?
There's also an
they
actual
asked-
artifact. We have something called artifact, right?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have
Nice.
numerous ways to upgrade in the game currently. One of them is, as Aaron mentioned, it's called bio boosters, and I think the fantasy around those is your character kind of injects something into his arm, kind of like steroids, I guess.
Drugs?
I don't know exactly how it'll work in the final version, but
Oh, that's gonna hurt our ratings.
that's at least how it works now.
These are not drugs.
And these bio boosters give you upgrades that are sort of tailored to the class fantasy of the character you're playing. So if you are a crit focused class, a lot of these upgrades will probably revolve around like critical hit chance and critical damage and stuff like that that plays into that.
I actually
you're
had no
playing as-
idea that it was class specific.
Yeah. If you're playing
Yeah,
as working
nice.
class, you have a fantasy of owning your own house, and maybe having a boat that you own with a couple of friends, stuff like
Nice,
that.
nice.
Yeah.
Living it.
But that's one of the that's one type of upgrades. Then you have the regular style upgrades that you get from collecting and depositing Expedite. So you have a quota. It's sort of like a XP bar you fill up until you have enough to trigger an upgrade. Mike can elaborate on this, but then you call the remote expedite processing drone, also called Ellis, and she will come to you. You deposit your expedite, and that will trigger an upgrade, which the team goes and collects, and that's more of a negotiation between all of the players. And finally, we've got artifacts, which are currently gathered from a small, I don't know if I want to call it a boss fight. It's more of an event.
I guess it's sort of like a machine event, but I
yeah,
think
there's an anomaly which roams around, and when you manage to successfully eliminate the anomaly, it will drop a gem of sorts, which you also deposit, and that triggers an extra powerful upgrade. Yeah, so I hope that answered your question. I need to pull up the YouTube chat real quick because I don't have Twitch up right now.
EJZ2024 in YouTube says, question, will there be any other enemy types aside from warp spawn, core spawn in Rogue Core? Yeah, right now we're experimenting with implementing French-Canadian tourists.
I hate those guys.
Yeah, no, they're really difficult. They have a ton of health, and they don't necessarily attack, but they just get in your way and block your shots. And if you run into them, there's a quick time interaction where you have to speak with them to try and get them to move. But they pretend that they don't speak English, even though you know they do, so you have to try and do it in French. Jacob, you're receiving your laurels on Twitch today. Harper says, Jacob, the stream title is amazing today.
Thanks, Harper.
Nate over on YouTube.
It's actually in honor of Mark.
Nice. Is
Nice.
Bosco going to be in Rogue Core for single player? There will be some sort of drone that replaces a teammate. Yes. I don't know if it's been decided. I think right now we have Bosco, but I think that's going to be like a placeholder for a similar drone.
Yeah, I think
in the
that's
future.
concept art for something that's basically Bosco, but not Bosco.
Yeah.
The legally distinct Bosco.
So
we can't
fear not. If you're like Jacob and you have no friends, you can always rely on the single player co-op drone.
Gee, Mark. Sounds like you
asked for that one yourself, Jacob.
You were leaving early today, weren't you?
Ow!
Got him. Didn't get him.
War Cold says there is one question. There is one question. Will the dwarves have their own original
damn it.
weapon? Something like
Gotta go
pistol?
double dip.
PS, you're awesome. Thanks for the content. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some. There are some original weapons in Rogue Core. I think right now we have 5 or something that are like drawn out and animated and stuff like that. Some of which you've seen. Some
New
of which you
weapons
haven't.
to clarify, right?
Yeah, new weapons. And then otherwise, I think it's most, if not all, of the regular style Deep Rock weapons are returning. I think. Godly Potato says, will we be able to upgrade Molly? Like how Molly sometimes tosses stuff out in the even at upgrade modifier. No. I mean, if you're asking in Deep Rock Galactic, no. If you're asking in Rogue Core, A, Molly doesn't exist. B, the version of Molly that is in Rogue Core is I guess already upgraded Molly, and that she flies around and is much smarter. But I don't think there's any exploration of like combat capability for it right now. It's just a utility item.
I haven't seen a meteor in a while, actually. A rock cracker thing.
Oh yeah. Which season are you playing? Oh, there's a shit ton of flyers on it.
5.
Man.
Ah, shit.
Alright, I'm coming.
There we go.
Anti-aircraft nuke. Very nice. Wow, this is a terrible rock cracker placement.
Night of Bane over on Twitch asks, "What's your favorite part of Rogue Core so far?" Jacob, you first.
Oh shit! I was hoping to go last.
We can also start with there.
Yeah.
I was hoping that I was relieved that Jacob was going first. Not because I have a hard time naming anything. No, but right now, honestly, like I haven't had a time to playtest it a ton in the last few weeks, but I would say seeing the animations for a lot of specifically the weapons, but also like a lot of the enemies and stuff, I think is really, really impressive, and I think also just like makes me aware of like how, for lack of a better term, like how far we've come. Not like, oh, suddenly we all got way smarter, but because you have one game's worth of experience for like, oh yeah, this is what works stylistically for us, and this is maybe what needs some tweaking, so that we've had the chance to do that with Rogue Core, and just seeing like, and then also, you know, having since 6-7 years since Deep Rock's been out, like just inspiration from other games and people doing really cool stuff with animations. Seeing like weapon, I was watching Jakob show me like weapon reload animations for the new Hammercaster, and it's really fucking cool. And it's just got me excited to see that sort of stuff implemented in game.
Can we get a drill up to the meteor?
Yep.
Or tunnel? I don't want a drill. I want a tunnel.
Yes.
I personally really enjoy like the power progression in the game. I think it still has a while to go, but I really enjoy like just the feeling of becoming more powerful and your build suddenly clicking. We recently got a new elemental system in, where all of the weapons can get some cool new elemental properties like fire damage, and cold damage, and poisonous damage, and corrosive.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage. And a lot of these
introducing the childhood trauma damage system.
A lot of these elemental damage types also synergizes really well. So I think, for instance, if one person has fire damage and another one has corrosive, you deal extra damage or something. I think that's super cool.
Wow, that sounds toxic, Mark.
Yeah, it is. And what else do I enjoy? I have to say...
Just have to say one thing, Mark.
Yeah, go for it.
You just have to say one thing. I'm still thinking. Yeah.
Okay, one more thing I really enjoy is the new objectives we have in the runs. Some of these are super cool, and our 3D artists have been killing it in dressing these up, so they're very enjoyable to complete and encounter.
Real Snail over on YouTube says, question, how far is the...
What? We need Jacob. Jacob needs to answer too.
Oh shit! Night side. I feel like a lot of the ambience, like not necessarily like the sounds, but like all the machineries in the caves are like really cool look into like the universe of Deep Rock. I think like, I'm not sure how much are we actually allowed to say from this.
I don't know.
Well, we played a bit earlier today, and I saw the tiniest, cutest drill I've ever seen. So there's that.
Are you sure you weren't just far away from it?
That could be. I'm not wearing my glasses. Yeah.
Frail Snail says, question, how far is the progress in the toilets in the Ramrod? Progress is stalled because Jacob clogged them. Hey. Says, will there be a mission in Rogue Core where we have to ride carts while shooting at enemies running after us? No, not presently. It's a cool idea. It would
sort
require
of like the Dwarves, I guess.
But I was thinking like Indiana Jones minecart ride type of thing, which would also be cool. I think one thing that makes that a little complex with Deep Rock is the way the cave generation works. Is that it would be pretty difficult to get that. A mission like that would require a cool path for a minecart to ride on, and the way that the caves get built up would maybe be hard to get that going. Not that it's impossible, but we haven't done anything like that.
Alright, I am gonna refine this stuff.
Dude, we don't have any machine events or anything to see to, do we?
We have the mine thing, yeah. Did you drill up here? Did you drill?
Yeah. There's. You can check your terrain scanner. I made multiple pathways.
Need to read.
Oh yeah, there's one right here. Alright, I'll get building. Oh, this one has already been built. This one maybe?
Morkite is being extracted. Pump sequence at 55%.
Alright, I'll come back to where you guys are at.
The extraction has stopped. Pipeline's in need of maintenance.
I'm not scared of you!
Orlorius says, question, are you guys planning on keeping the season system in Deep Rock Galactic? Well, if you're asking on whether we're keeping them just in Deep Rock, yeah, like it's already put in, we wouldn't take them out. If you're asking on whether we'll keep that in Rogue Core, I think that kind of remains to be seen, also based on feedback to the game and how much it makes sense for us to commit to it. I think one thing also that we mention fairly often is that in retrospect, we maybe didn't do ourselves any favors by calling them seasons in Deep Rock, because then people expect seasons with the frequency that like a much larger live service game like, I don't know, Apex or something could do. So we need to maybe figure out a word that is sort of like seasons, but doesn't make people expect something really big every 6 months. So, I mean, I think that my expectation would be that if Rogue Core is a hit, then we'll put resources into developing and expanding content. Whether we'll call that seasons, I don't know.
I think we easily say it's all been a learning experience, so we definitely will bring whatever we learned from Deep Rock to Rogue Core.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
The biggest learning being that the perk system is perfect, and there's no need to adjust it or tweak it at all.
Yeah, people love
Yeah,
extra perk points.
Yeah.
Also that we should slow down the zipline.
We should slow down the zipline, more perks, and I think the biggest mistake was wasting seasons that weren't about rock pox.
Yeah, true. Noobskew over on Twitch asks, in Rogue Core, will certain lootable weapons or tools/artifacts be limited to certain classes, or can anyone get anything? Currently, anyone can get anything. But certain upgrades also, like, some are tailored towards a more melee style playstyle, which might not be ideal for you if you're not, trying to build around it, that aspect. But otherwise, everything is open to anyone. And you can have drills, you can have flare guns, you can have
This right here is such a mark pipe.
Which pipe?
Which one?
This one. Hey, look, I'm just going all the way back to. Oh no, I hit the wall on my.
I didn't build any of those.
Yes, you totally
just
did,
for the
Mark.
record.
Then
No, I think I built this
Then
one.
you inspired someone to do it. Yeah, Aaron's very impressionable, so
Mark
that makes
was
sense.
mentoring me.
Yeah.
Wraithlord26 says, question, you expect to launch Rogue Core in early access. How long do you think it will be in early access? No idea. That's a
question no one can answer, I think.
That's we are not a studio that plans like that. Arsenio 160221010 says, how many new weapons will there be in Rogue Core, my friend asks. Well, that's a number that's changing. I think right now it's what, 5? But I think it depends on how many we manage to think up and then implement before launching it. So at least 5 is the answer I can give you there. Hunterito says, question, is Rogue... Oh,
Wait,
who's that?
Who's that?
Is that the mic?
I think Mike is
hear you,
muted.
Mike.
I can't hear nothing.
I'm here.
It's silent
he's
mic.
here.
Ooh, it's quiet mic.
Okay, Mike, please answer all the questions.
Okay.
Mike, welcome. Chat, we have been...
You've been mic'd.
We've been mic'd. We've been
mic'd.
blessed with the presence of Mike, who is lead game designer here on Rogue Core. Mike, what did you have for lunch?
mashed potatoes were involved, and salads, and there was some kind of meat.
Mashed potatoes were involved. It's such like a
Like a crime,
diplomatic way of saying it.
crime scene thing.
At this point in time, like a police chief giving. At this point in time, I'm prepared to say that mashed potatoes may have been involved in much. Anyway, Mike, enough teasing you, but welcome
Yes.
to the stream, baby. The
Thank you.
chat has
Thank
been
you.
waiting for you. Chat, please say hello to Mike. Mike is
Hi,
one of our
chat.
foremost experts on Rogue Core. In fact, so much so that he changed his middle name to Rogue Core. So if you've got any questions, now is the time. And Mike, let me scroll up and find. Ooh, Mike, I got one to get you off and
way.
get you started. And somebody says, where'd it go? Where'd that question? Oh, somebody asked, will there be spectator mode so I can watch my Greenbeard friends play?
Nothing is planned for that, but I think we could actually probably implement something like that for the lulz. I think, doesn't Steam already have a thing where you can watch people play?
Oh yeah, there's a stream
That's
share.
more like live
Yeah, but
streaming.
that's not more work for us, Mike. Come on.
What do you mean?
I think they're wondering if you could like hover around like sort of a Bosco camera mode in the game.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a perfectly reasonable request and feature, but to me, right where we are right now in terms of development, that is so low priority to spend any time on something like that when we have
Yeah.
so much to do in other areas that actually involve like the game itself. Yeah. So
Wow, Mike, you sound
I think
stressed. Are you
duly
stressed?
Noted. I'm not stressed. You're stressed.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, I'm not. Sucker.
Mike, another question from Hunterito says, is Rogue Core your main focus for the future, or do you plan to expand more on Deep Rock Galactic still?
So I think nothing has changed from when we last talked about this. So we will not be looking at any DRG stuff. We won't be making any DRG plans or anything like that until after Rogue Core goes into early access. And then we'll be hopefully in a better position to make decisions about this and figure out how we want to divide our time.
What about, will there be Rogue Core 2.0 for, will there be Rock and Stone 2.0 for Rogue Core?
Well, right now Rogue Core is running on Rock and Stone 1.0, and it's working fine. Of course, there's new lines for the Reclaimer Scouts, although they are Dwarves, and Rock and Stone is still very much in there, together with some kind of like the Reclaimer-only shouts as well.
I've sprung a leak.
Yeah, we right now see no need to do anything else.
Like, we got a question earlier that asked, what's your favorite part of Rogue Core?
My favorite part of Rogue Core is the co-op selection of upgrades as you collect Expedite and put it into Ellis, and then when you get enough, then the whole team gets a selection where you get to like figure out who gets what. To me, that's a very, very big element.
It's kind of
Very
related
big
to
part.
what I hate the most about Rogue Core is how Mark always gets to pick what I want to pick.
Yeah. Skill issue, Jakob, clearly.
It's Mark's skill issue.
I agree. Mike said it. Will there be dwarf customization in Rogue Core for dwarves and weapons like skins and so on?
So, I mean, again, this is something that we have avoided thinking about right now because, we're not sure how the cards are going to fall in terms of what the way we are doing Rogue Core, what makes sense. So I can say right now, customizing the way weapons look really doesn't seem like it would make a lot of sense since all your weapons are found weapons. That you are finding in these big sites, right? At like weapon lockers, if you will, and stuff like that. So there, like you customizing it doesn't really make a lot of sense for me. You don't even know which guns you're gonna get, right? For your dwarf themselves, to some extent, for sure, we're gonna want to have something, but how far that's gonna go is still very uncertain. So we are trying again. What we're doing, we're still trying to figure out exactly how much each class in Rogue Core is kind of like a specific character versus an archetype, right? And we're not completely set on that yet. But I think, personally, I think it would be a shame if we didn't have things like beard cosmetics and like at least all the facial stuff, right? I'm not sure how we're gonna do with armors. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. I think we're definitely gonna have something. I can't imagine us having nothing, but exactly what we're gonna have, still unknown, and is something that we're not focusing on at all right now, or even thinking about.
We had a question regarding the customization. Will the guns you pick up be already customized?
So I'll speak for the state that that system is in right now, and we do have a plan to take a second look at this system once other things fall into place.
Yeah.
But right now, when you open up a weapon locker, if you will, right, in a similar fashion, draw.
Sorry.
No, number of players plus one options, and then and there the guns are kind of rolled. So at minimum, each gun has one attribute assigned to it randomly. So you kind of have the base weapon, and then it might have anything from like an elemental damage bonus, or ricochet, or like all that kind of stuff. Could also like larger magazine, things like that. And then also weapons can come in kind of like, right now we tied it directly to rarity, so there is no difference between weapon rarity and weapon level, if you will. And that is pretty much dictated by how many attributes a weapon has. So one attribute is common, two attributes is uncommon, three attributes is rare, and it kind of just goes like that until legendary, which has 5 attributes, something like that. We're not done with this system yet, and we're not done with exactly how, whether or not we're going to have weapon power and weapon rarity be actually the same thing, or whether weapon rarity is instead going to affect the type of attributes that can come in. There's still kind of like this fantasy of, because a lot of the weapons you're finding are existing DRG weapons, along with new ones, right? But there are existing ones. So, for example, we have the PGL, and the question is, how does the Fat Boy overclock play into this? And like, to me, that is a perfect example of like a legendary PGL. Yeah. Is one that is Fat Boy, and that doesn't necessarily make it like inherently better on all fronts, right? But it,
Mark, what the fuck are you doing?
In my opinion, it's certainly legendary,
shit.
right?
I didn't know the drop pod was here. Sorry.
No, so it could be that actually instead, yeah, it's the type of attributes, and also we had overclocks in again as attributes, as something that would come in for epic and legendary weapons, but we had to pull that out because of technical issues. So we are going to be coming back to this. And then on top of this, there are workbenches where you can add an attribute to one of your guns every time you come to a workbench. And again, but those attributes are also rolled, so for each gun you get an A/B choice. But you can only apply it to a single weapon. So if you have 2 guns with you, you can be like, okay, do I want, like, you have 4 choices, and you choose one of those.
Yeah, on that topic, Mike, real quick, how many weapons can we have at a time?
So right now it's 2. We used to have 4 inventory slots, and originally we had it completely freeform, where you could stack 4 weapons if you wanted to. But now we've actually gone back to having 2 weapons, max, and then an equipment slot, and like a throwable grenade style slot. So that means equipment like, for example, I don't know, the engineer's turrets, or a traversal tool and stuff like that. That goes into slot number 3. And then grenades, they go to plot number 4. And so the grenades are now part of like the equipment thing. And again, this is something that we are continuously working on. So this is just a work in progress. We're doing something else now. But
what about somebody
yeah,
on the more technical end? Olibrius says, question, are you guys building Rogue Core using DRG assets and code library, or is it built from scratch? Specifically, the terrain generation tools and the physics engine.
Simple answer. To start working on, to make Rogue Core, we literally duplicated the DRG project. And then updated it to Unreal 5. And that's and then we're pretty much ripping stuff out, changing stuff around, and have been turning DRG into Rogue Core.
Yeah.
So it is very much still running on the DRG code base, but is also being modified as it goes, as needed.
I gotta run, guys, but GG's and have fun.
Thanks, Mark. GG's.
But that means there's a spot open
On stream
for some of you guys in chat. Later, guys.
Get a good scout. Whew. Mike, we've got a question from Noobs who says, Mike, we heard from a reliable anonymous source that progress on the Reclaimer's toilets aboard the Ramrod has been, quote, stalled. Do you care to comment on the quality of that pun?
that is a pretty good pun. Yeah, I don't know. 7 out of 10.
Nah, well, we'll take it. Mike, what about somebody says, will there be infected or cursed weapons in the game that could provide buffs at the cost of health or shields, sort of like unstable overclocks or sort of thing?
So right now we don't have that, but I think stuff like that is definitely something that we could do in Rogue Core. The main thing right now in Rogue Core that has those kind of downsides is something that we are a placeholder term calling artifacts.
Yeah,
there's just like very powerful upgrades that often come with downsides, with the ideas that they let you shift gameplay strongly into a specific direction.
Sort of like that glass cannon one you described. Or
the glass cannon one is a very very clear example of this, right? So you have very very little health left. You pretty much get one shot by anything. But you do 150% more damage, so more than double damage, right? So it's both very powerful and also very dangerous. But that's an extreme example, right? But just one that's very clear that like it shifts how you play. We have another one that like shifts your play from like being health based, kind of like your defense being health based to being shield based, where you get a lot more shield, but you have again almost no health. We have another one where you get a bonus if you stand still, both to defense and offense, but of course it makes it you have to figure out where to stand.
Turret mode.
But the defense bonus doesn't mean that you can ignore enemies, right? But then you can also build around things like we have, upgrades that, for example, like there's one, I think it's called Damage Dam, where the amount of DPS or like the amount of hits that you can take per second is capped. So every time you take damage, you are immune for half a second.
Interesting.
And you can like build up on that. So then that now lets you actually tank a little harder, so you can stand still. Then you have another one that, for example, says like the more enemies are around you, the more damage you do.
Interesting.
So you can kind of combine stuff like that together to actually say, okay, I can stand still, I can have enemies around me, and that's going to make me powerful, but I have systems that mitigate the danger that I'm in. So stuff like that.
Cool. What's somebody says, oh shoot, where did that one go? Oh, where did that go? Where did that? Oh, there it goes. Somebody asking about Rogue Core. They say, if Rogue Core is on Unreal Engine 5, will you disable Unreal's data collection telemetry?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I
don't know what that is. I was hoping you would know what that is.
No, I don't. Is that something that Unreal 5 has that,
We can ask, I feel like Axel or Jenny would know what that is.
They would know. I mean, we will, of course, be compliant to GDPR. we have to be, right? Is all I can say with that. I have no idea what this Unreal data. Like, I guess that's something new they put in that is maybe annoying. And,
Yeah.
I mean, reasonable question. I think, yeah, I'll post that up in our Slack just to make sure
Yeah.
we're on top of that. Doing
This
it right now.
is- Dude Aiden78 asks, what will the game cost? We don't know yet. Probably about what Deep Rock costs would be my guess.
I'm gonna say reasonable. It's gonna be at a reasonable price point for what it is. Like,
and by that, Mike, you mean it's
milk. And...
it's the world's first quadruple A game, so it's going to cost $90 an hour to play it.
nice.
You heard it here first.
Hunterito00 says, question, do you plan to have console release near or close to in line with PC access? It will not be close to PC access because that's you can't do early access on consoles, so it'll be like we haven't said anywhere that we're even gonna guarantee do it on consoles. Obviously that's the hope, but it would be, I think, a year or more between that. I mean, so it's
And before someone says that you can do a game preview on Xbox, it's still quite a load on like the development to actually deploy to several platforms and test and stuff. So it's currently we just want to do it on one and then see where it goes, I think.
Yeah, so unfortunately that's the bad news for the console friends today, but such is the life. You trade the comfort of being able to game on the couch with the frustration of sometimes not having early access.
Yep.
Can't carry anymore. Platform's nice.
In Slack. About that data.
What you been working on Rogue Core today?
Today, last thing was some testing where me and Tim, fellow designer, we did a no comms run where we didn't use voice comms. Went pretty fine for us. Of course, it was 2 players, so it was fairly low hassle. And obviously, we know the game very well.
Yeah, you and Tim can been sitting next to each other for so long, you can actually read each other's minds, right?
But yeah, but we try not to. It's terrible.
Yeah.
That's right.
Blessing and a curse for 2 colleagues.
And then what else have we've been looking at? Messing around in terms of the amount of like we call them, kind of calling them events or objectives. They're not the same as the DRG objectives or machine events, but kind of like in between. Figuring trying to mess around with how many of those we're going to have per stage, and also the stage timer length. So doing some adjustments there, and yes, also doing a bit more adjusting on the current iteration of the what we have as a final fight at the end of each run. So again, it's been going through many iterations of boss fights and also just kind of like tasks you were doing while there were waves, and now coming back to something that is more scalable and is kind of a boss fight, but it's not like super grandiose right now. It's work in progress.
People asking about what's the current, can the runs go forever, or what's sort of the course of the...
Nope. No. Runs cannot go forever. We may have an endless run mode kind of thing later down the line, but right now runs end. The idea is that you can complete a run. Completing a run is a very doable thing, but then you unlock a harder run. So the idea is that I really it's not going to be like there's the one run kind of that kind of style of rogue light whatever. Yeah. Where there's the run and the whole point of the game is for you to try to beat that run. Instead, we're kind of putting it into more bite-sized runs, which each run effectively is a facility that you, as reclaimers, are reclaiming.
Yeah.
And then doing so, then will you kind of gather right now placeholder name, maybe final name, like kind of like intelligence on the situation, which is then also unlocking other runs and also other features within the run. So kind of like as you play, you unlock more and more mechanics that can go into the runs. These mechanics makes the like both kind of like adds new challenge, but it's also ways to gain more power, which is needed for completing the harder runs. And then running on top of that, we have a meta progression system. That's the rogue light, the light part of the rogue thingy. So that as you play, succeed or fail, as you earn kind of XP, that XP is getting converted into enhancement XP or enhancement points that you can then spend to get enhancements. But we are also, like, because I really don't want this like endless bloat of power kind of going on, so instead we are playing around with the idea that you kind of have an enhancement build that you make on your character. So as you unlock more powerful enhancements, and you unlock more options for what you can do in that build. But in the end, you are only selecting, right now it's 4, exact number, we will see.
Jesus.
So that's to help kind of smooth out the kind of difficulty. So if you are struggling, then that struggle is actually then feeding into you getting more enhancements or getting more powerful enhancements, which will then hopefully let you get over that hurdle.
Yeah, so even if you're getting like super beat up or something, you're making this like incremental progress, so the next time you're a little better equipped to go the next time around.
Yeah, to an extent, right? The skill and especially teamwork is kind of key. So I mean, the system is there to help, but it by itself cannot carry you through the game, and we don't want it to either, right?
I was asking earlier on is there the possibility to like choose your path over the course of the run? Like, you know, you collect resources and you get access to, say, a different room or a different stage. Is it
sort
linear?
of.
What's that?
Sort of. So this has gone through many iterations, including there being like multiple elevators on stages, or there being these, we used to call them safe rooms, that you would get into along the run, and then those safe rooms would have multiple elevators. Then there the team could choose which path to take. So we've actually kind of refined that into something we call risk vectors. And the idea here is every time you switch stages, the team gets a selection of risk vectors. Right now it's 3, which is a nice list.
Great number.
Yeah, beautiful number.
Cool fairy tale reference, Mike.
You're welcome. And each risk vector pretty much comes with some kind of risk, and that risk is permanent. So this is something that is kind of you are kind of collecting these handicaps, you can say. Although instead, like, they're not actually like handicaps, like, oh, you move slow or something like that. Instead, they are bringing some kind of dangers into into the stages, and we have some classics like more cave leeches, but also things like certain specific enemies are invisible, or like also like basic ones, like there's just like more of a certain type of enemy that is like more disruptive, and that kind of like shifts the gameplay. So stuff like that.
And then this is, I mean, asking from a gameplay perspective, what's a player's motivation for choosing these risk vectors? Is it just negative, or what do you get from it?
No. Well, you have to choose one anyway. That's part of the play. You cannot opt out. But then each one comes also with a positive, and that's kind of like where you get more. I mean, you get power from Expedite, so you mine Expedite. The drone converts it into upgrades. But for example, a risk vector might be that there's more cave leeches, but there is a weapon locker in the next stage. So now you can get another weapon. Or then another one might be, okay, so let's say the creepers are invisible, but you have a weapon upgrade bench. Right, so now the team is choosing, like, okay, do they want another weapon, right? As a team, then they'll get a weapon selection, or do they want to upgrade the weapons they already have? and then those choices also come with the negatives assigned. So in most cases you would choose by the positives, right, in terms of what you want, but in some cases you may also, like, the negatives will play into that choice as well. That's the idea. And then of course the positives are one-off, so it's only the next stage that you get this this thing, and the negatives are something that stacks. So also kind of like the negatives you have already selected can also then play into your decision making, because you are stacking this, like, yeah, pile of bad that you have to deal with.
Hunterite00 asks, will there be a main hub, even if small? Yeah, there will. I mean, I interpret that question to say that you're asking about a space rig type area, and yeah, there will be the ramrod, which is the ship aboard which your reclaimers have traveled to Hoxus. So that'll serve as a hub, and we'll have similar features to what you expect on the space rig, of your little sleeping pods and medbay customization, some form of a bar, toilets, hopefully a gym.
Yeah.
Other activities.
Yes. And there's in the video that we showed on our like a while back, there's a nice cutout shot. Actually, you can see of the ramrod.
Mike, have you played Binding of Isaac?
Connection established. Activate the hacking.
Very, very, very little. I'm something like the theme just if only it was themed in some other way. I just don't like it.
Why don't you like poops and kids?
Get him, boy.
Not like that. No.
Not like that, no.
I haven't played it either. I only asked because somebody asked a question sort of contingent on it, but we'll give it a try anyway. Wonder says, is the run progression similar to Binding of Isaac in regards to having branching paths you can choose throughout the run to determine a different ending or boss?
No.
No.
No, it's not like that. Again, instead we have different runs, and exactly the relationship of the final battle to the run, whether it's random or set in for each run, we don't know yet. We will see.
I'm not scared of you. Take a grenade. Why call them on it?
Like the idea would be that like the final boss of the kind of game, or the final battle there, that would be coming at the end of this like run progression, right? So you kind of like unlock deeper and deeper facilities until eventually you are able to unlock the final one.
Expiration date. Supply pod here. Ask for team before double dipping.
It's
But all that is still on paper. That's not going to be in the closed alpha right now.
No. SRN Gaming says, a pretty big part of roguelikes / Light Simulator are secrets. So I was wondering if there are plans for hidden things like secret or exclusive perks or rooms, or being able to get an extra upgrade if you keep an eye out. Like hidden rooms and stuff like that.
I mean, we have a bit of that anyway, due to the nature of the environment in which the game takes place. So, because you do have to explore the caves, and you have to find stuff in the caves, and so you can find stuff in its stuff, and so there is still some of that exploration that DRG has as well. And like, I mean, right now we're not focusing on extra bonus secret stuff. We're very much focusing on the very core of the game. But I would love for there to be stuff like that, and so I think we'll look at that later.
I think to what we mentioned briefly earlier, maybe a little before you joined, but Mark was saying sort of what, for lack of a better term, like machine events in Rogue Core, and I guess can somewhat serve as, you know, if there's like a closed door that if you take the time to dig out equipment or repair it, you can get access to, which is, I guess, something like that. But it would be cool if there was something, you know, like a cavern that you can only see on the terrain scanner, or like truly hidden stuff would be pretty sweet.
We have a little bit of that already, again, because things like ammo and bio boosters, they are kind of like spread out in the cave, and they're not marked on your map in any way. So it's something that you find, and like, so that we have some like also larger structures where, you know, you come and there's maybe an elevator taking you down into a pit, and then in that pit is like a shaft that was being dug, and then like around the corner in that shaft you'll find a bio booster and stuff like that. So you have to explore, but at the same time Rogue Core is running on a limited time that you have in each stage. So that exploration is being done under pressure. So it's yeah. It's a decision that like US players have to make whether or not it's worth it to go off the path, and if you have time, and also depending on when the next wave is going to hit, which is something that you also are information that you're given, so you know when the next wave is hitting.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So on the timer, it shows you you don't see all the waves for the stage, but you see the next one.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have an
see,
idea.
like,
Okay,
the
it's coming
guaranteed
soon,
wave.
or we have a little time. So these are like there are waves that are coming on the timer, kind of like just to push you. And then of course most of the events objectives, they involve fighting as well. And one of the things that you want to make sure is that you don't double wave yourself by triggering an event at the same time as a wave hits, because that of course is going to make it much harder.
Well, Lapis over on YouTube has a question about sort of creature pathing and behavior. And Flappis says, will the creatures be rooted to the terrain the same way the glyphids are? Like how glyphids don't get any knockback and can walk over things like sand vents. Now that I think of it, nothing in DRG can jump. Not quite true, because the core spawn can jump. The ones that are in the
Swarmers also jump, but I guess that's just an attack.
Yeah, I guess
the swarmer jump is a bit of a lie, or like it's very.
It's sort of a cosmetic animation, right? It's not like they change
Exactly.
terrain.
They look like they jump.
No, in Rollcore, the enemies are able to, like some enemies are able to leap, where they actually are coming off the nav mesh and then coming back onto the nav mesh. So things like knockback are a bit more within reach. They're still a little tricky to do, but they're at least next to the table. So I definitely would like to see about us getting stuff like that on the table.
Yeah, there was a discussion yesterday about somebody was talking about like knockback and impact. There was like updating the animations for getting shot with very strength of weapons and potential like dismemberment based on what you get hit with and how hard and stuff like that. I think it'd be super cool.
Yes, but that is all on death, so that's a different thing, because that's regarding to ragdolls. Not creatures that would then get back up and get back into the fray. So.
I gotcha. You think there's any chance of having it, possible where you could like blow off a limb of a core spawn and can keep crawling at you?
Not right now, and we're not working on anything that's going to do that. Like, I mean, it would be super cool, but I think I'm not sure if it's cool enough for the effort cost, and because we have other things that we need to focus on right now as well.
Teamwork would speed this up. Just saying.
Ooh, there's a question from Jabbarak Gaming. Was interested about the meta progression. Jabbarak asks, what kind of meta upgrades do we have beyond weapons, like perks or ability upgrades before we go into each run? It asks sort of similar phrasing, like what in terms of what contributes to your success in a run. They ask, is it like 10% meta and 90% in run, or how does it sort of balance between what you bring into a run and what you obtain and develop there?
Yeah, what's in the run is always going to be more important. I'm not sure if it's 10%, 90%, but the goal is that, I mean, the meta is a way to make the game more accessible as well to players of varying skill.
Like Mark.
Like Mark, exactly. The majority of your power progression. The majority of your power progression is happening in the runs, and some of the meta progression that we are looking at is actually things that are further enhancing your ability to upgrade during the run. So things like being able to get more choices, so therefore you're able to make a better choice, and you're kind of like putting luck on your side, if you will. Alongside more basic kind of like more starting health or higher crit chance or faster revive speed. So one of the things that we're looking at right now when we're looking at the meta, and right now I am talking about only the enhancement system. We also want to do a kind of like a build system for each Reclaimer's ability. like kind of sort of like we've done with the weapons in DRG, because you don't have that kind of like weapon building meta system going on in ROCOR. Again, you find the weapons, but you have your ability, and we'd like to give the player a little more control over what that does, and have a little bit of power growth in there as well. But other than that, yeah, what we're really looking at is what sort of enhancements would make sense from the point of view of you've played a run, you failed, the team wiped, you died. If you're able to kind of like identify why that happened, hopefully there is an enhancement that you can see that you're like, okay, like that would help me mitigate this issue.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we're trying to keep in mind when designing enhancements. But again, the majority of your success still very much depends on the choices you make, and likewise when you like bring in enhancements with you.
Jacob Corsebone back here.
Yeah. Like you have the enhancements, but by themselves they're not enough. So now the thing is that depending on which enhancements you have, you also need to then build with that consideration in mind. So for example, if you are like stacking health on enhancements, you should be wary of anything that has like a strong like health penalty. Like I was talking about again before, we were talking about with glass cannon, right? So stacking a whole bunch of health and enhancements and then taking glass cannon, that's a bit of a bad choice.
Yeah, because you're effectively like resetting your progress.
You're making those enhancements, you're really nullifying their like most of their power, right? Yeah.
Got a question, sort of vague. Noob Scooter's question: what are some mechanical similarities between ROCOR and ROCOR and DRG Survivor? Oh, I guess they're talking about within roguelike elements. I mean,
like not actually much at all. I mean, they're very different games, right? With one being a bullet heaven auto shooter kind of thingamajiggy going on there. So, but I mean, like I guess like the biggest like thing that you can compare to is this whole thing of as you play, right? You effectively earned XP in the two forms that the games have, right? One is by just killing enemies, kind of, and doing stuff, and the other one is by effectively collecting Expedite. Which then, I mean, ROCOR also has actual XP that is then used for the meta system, but Expedite, like once you collect enough, right? Effectively, you quote unquote level up in the run. You're able to get the drone Ellis is able to make upgrades for the team, and then you get the selection, right? So those two have I think a similarity. Mechanically, obviously, gameplay-wise itself, it's very different. And I know also that Deep Rock Survivor, they have a thing also with where I think you also get to select, or there's a game mode in which you get to select like handicaps as you play. So there's some, and then of course, like I mean, also. You compare ROCOR to other games as well, right?
Yeah. The Clockmaker over on YouTube says, my wife just asked me to ask you, and I hate this question already, any plans for maps with water? No, like I told her this weekend, no, still no plans for that. The Chancellor on Twitch says, question, with the shared pool of upgrades between teammates, would there be a possibility that I want to stack health, but I'm forced to take glass cannon because I'm choosing last?
No. So we are all the choices are always at the minimum number of players plus one. So and that is done with the idea that nobody has to choose literally their least favorite option. You may be stuck with your second least favorite option, but still, right? So no, at no point would anybody be forced to take glass cannon. Yeah, hope that answers. And then also for a lot of the various selection things that we have, like with weapons and also with the Expedite upgrades, We also have a kind of like a safe choice that is always there. So in the case of expedite upgrades, the way you actually increase your character's health there is always a get more health, heal up and get more health option on the expedite upgrade selection that everybody can take. So, and it's kind of like it's something that feeds into pretty much any build as a, like, if you really, really don't want any of the upgrades for like, you can take health, or if health is actually part of what you need, then you just can take health again. And for example, for weapons, in the weapon selection, that is instead increasing your max ammo capacity, right? So if none of the weapon, like let's say you chose a risk vector that's going to have a weapon crate in the stage, but then when you open it up, nothing in there tickles your fancy, or as the team selected, nothing that's left is something that you want, you can always instead improve the weapon that you have.
Ghost User on Twitch asks, will the tone of Rogue Core be more serious, / will there be more of the DRG humor and jokes? I would say yes to both of those questions. I think overall so far, like the art style and the pacing and sort of overall feel of Rogue Core is a little not, you know, I hesitate to say like it's dark and scary because it's not like it's a horror game. And it's still, you know, it's made by the same people. We've still got the same sense of humor and all that. So it's like, that'll still be part of it. But I think it'll be, you know, if, probably less like kind of lighthearted and goofy than Deep Rock Galactic. But again, that's not to say it's going to be like fucked up and scary at all. But I think it's safe to say it'll have a darker tone, and it's also just sort of more intense in the way that the game itself is structured. But I think also a lot of that is still, we're working on the functional systems of the game right now, and a little less on like the sort of lore of it. Although, I mean, there's art design going in right now that is a big factor in sort of how for example, how the enemies look, and then also the music. We had a question earlier about the soundtrack, and the same composer of Deep Rock Galactic is working on an entirely new soundtrack for Rogue. Indeed, and it does have sort of a, I guess if the genre dark synth is something familiar to you, I think it sort of borrows from that. So by no means like horror, but yeah, I would say darker and more serious. But you know, we've still got toilets on the ramrod. We're still gonna have silly stuff. We've still got, you know, the same people, the same senses of humor designing the game. So it's not like we're gonna say no making jokes in Rogue Core.
Very nice. Very. I mean, I think in terms of like military stuff, right? Because their claimers have a bit more of a military feel to them. I think they're more colonial marines than they are like Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, and colonial means being from aliens, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
space jarheads.
Yeah, not that we're going to be like, yeah, these are the ultimate badasses. Like they are badasses in some sense, but they're also idiots, probably likely.
Idiot badasses. Also like the Predator team from like the first Predator.
Oh yeah,
that's a nice reference. I mean, it's like they're badasses, but they're also like
makes you
also asses.
Worse.
Exactly.
Got a stalker somewhere.
Oh, hopefully we set it on fire.
I'm a nuke.
Oh. Getting out of here then.
Oh, it's up there, okay.
Cthulhu Plus says, will the line, you ugly son of a... Oh, you're one ugly son of a bitch, be in Rogue Core with the more human-like enemies? I don't know. Maybe.
You can see why not. They are pretty ugly.
They are ugly. What's that a reference to? Is that from? I don't know.
Stupid fucking question.
That's Predator, right?
On your stream, that's why.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's because I'm on the stream through my phone while pacing upstairs in on the terrace, and yeah, Alex.
Ooh, Mike, are you
Xander
kicking
was
it
here.
terrorist style?
Yeah, but it's like, I'm talking to myself, calling things
Wow.
ugly.
Hunterito says, question, is cross-platform play anywhere in the plans for Rogue Core, even DRG? No and no. That is one of our most often asked questions, and yeah, no, it's not in the plans. It would, it's a cool idea. I think everyone here thinks it's a cool idea, but it would require an immense amount of both active work to get it implemented, and then active work to maintain it and keep it going. And then we'd have to you'd have to link your account to like PlayStation or something, or we'd have to make like a Ghost Ship Games account and then manage everyone's email and passwords. And that sounds like a huge pain in the ass.
I mean, yeah,
so.
we're not gonna do it where we are the back end for that. I know like Epic has a thing, right? I mean, yeah, if everybody could just play nice with each other, that'd be great. Then we could just do it, but that's not how it works.
Yeah, it's everyone else's fault.
Yes.
Onyx Guy over on Twitch says, "Hi guys, I've been wondering, the voice line, 'You stuck your webs in my business for the last time,' is that a reference to the Spider-Man 2 movie?" Yes, I was the one who wrote that line, and it absolutely is a reference to the Doc Ock line from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2.
Technically,
You
wouldn't you be the one
stuck
that took that line from Spider-Man 2 instead of writing it?
You've stuck your webs in my business for the last time. Ghost User has a question. They say, will Rogue Core have the laser pointer ping tool? Yeah. Yeah.
It has it.
It's a
It
great
pings.
tool. And it pings just like... we should have a new ping noise. Or announce a really big upgrade where we update the...
I mean,
Can we just make
I
it go?
think right now the model is still the old one, but I would very much like the Reclaimers to have their own. laser
Oh, yeah.
pointer.
If they have their own...
I just wanted to go.
Like with like a tactical like fork or something.
Just like a sight on it.
Yes, of course. Why not? 2 sites even.
DJ over on YouTube says, are we going to be able to twerk in Rogue Core too?
Not if I can help it, but I wasn't able to stop this working last time, so I don't know.
Mike, you can't stop people's hips. When the music gets playing, you can't stop.
Yeah, clearly I can't.
The twerk is love, Mike. It's
Despite all
love.
my efforts.
Any number of house songs with a hook like you can't stop the beat and you can't stop the music, and yet here goes Mike trying to stop the beat.
No matter what you say, Mike, our hits won't lie.
Yeah. It's fine. Whatever. Silly dwarf game.
Yeah, just pretend like you're not affected, Mike.
That's
all that
how
works.
I've been crying myself to sleep every
Yeah.
night.
The Registrum says, let us blind our teammates by pointing a laser pointer in their eyes. No, bad idea.
That's the kind of co-op we're talking about here. Yes.
Philopus says, are any of the classes in Rogue Core the equivalents of current DRG classes, or have aspects of them in some way, like a combination of NG or Gunner or something? I've never thought of it in that way.
No, they weren't designed in the same way. But the spotter's ability is something that is a little bit like an overclock on the M1000-ish.
Yeah, it's a little bit marked for death.
Marked
right?
for death.
It's a little bit marked for death, but hooking into Rogue Core's critical hit system instead, and also with an AOE version if you shoot the ground. But I mean, but no, right? I mean, none of them is like, oh yeah, we take, because DRG classes are very much. I mean, yes, they have weapons, but it's also very much traversal tools and the secondary tools and grenades, and all of that in Rogue Core is freeform. So the traversal tool that you take depends on the traversal tool selection that is offered to the team and who takes what. Same thing with grenades and weapons and all that stuff. So the classes in Rogue Core at the core of them are the ability Although we want to further look into also having potentially different stats, as well as some passive, like non-selectable perks that each class kind of brings to further differentiate them. But we haven't gotten around to that yet. But we really want to. So they're very different from DRG classes.
Only we had a scout.
Yeah. I have a. Yeah, I don't have a.
I think we'll need that nitra.
Oh, for sure. We do not have very much. I mean, well, we have one resupply right now, but if we could get one more, it'd be nice. Jabberrock Gaming over at YouTube says, is it possible to add the potential to share ammo between teammates at any point? Like someone's super low, but you're full, so you can give them some of either road core or normal DRG. I would guess no, the reason being that kind of everyone has different ammo types, and you get into a weird, like, sort of a question of, like, exchange rates of either, I mean, unless you say, okay, I give a flat 20% of my ammo, but then if you have 2 out of 4 C4s or whatever, how does that get detracted? Do you lose 1 out of those, or exchange rates between, like, how many minigun bullets is worth rifle I don't know. There's
yeah. I mean, we do that through having the resupplies be unlocked, right, to all players, both in Rogue Core and in DRG. And we already, like in Rogue Core, have situations where, you know, we come to we find an ammo crate, and there is of course enough for like as the players that are there, which is actually a bit different from DRG, right, where you always have 4. In Rogue Core it's a little tighter, but we still have situations where somebody will actually skip and say like, hey, because somebody else needs to double dip instead, because they might have a very ammo hungry build, stuff like that. So that you kind of you do that proactively. But no, there's no plan for this like ammo swapping on the fly. No. Love your videos, by the way, Jarvik.
Elskina says, will there be a way to find lore in the future, like very rare containers and missions that contain info about the planet or the space station? I would be really surprised if we do that. I think that we tend to take more of a drip feed approach to lore. I think also, especially in Rogue Core, it's not the type of game where it would make sense to have like you stop and read something type of thing because of the pacing of it.
Dear God, no, that would not work.
So I would say no for several reasons, both for gameplay reasons and also in the way that we like to give out kernels and let people's imagination fill in the rest.
But we already are, like, I mean, creating that a little bit in Rogue Core based through, for example, the type of events and objectives that we are creating for Rogue Core, right? I mean, those are telling a little bit of a story of like, well, because again, you're finding, you know, a machine that you know is powered down. Then you based on what the machine is doing, that gives a little bit of an idea of what has been going on here before the gray out happened.
Well, something the college kids are calling environmental storytelling. We're doing that, baby.
Oh, them educated college kids.
Chancellor says, in DRG, certain classes or traversal tools are balanced around the rest of the class's kit. Like a scout's grapple is much more powerful than a gunner's zipline. In Rogue Core, how would I be incentivized to take a zipline over a grapple? Well, I mean,
yeah, we buffed the zipline.
Yeah. Mike, I never thought I'd hear you say those words.
Okay, I'm gonna say I did not buff the zipline. Okay.
In fact, we had to.
Are you gonna keep it, Mike? Are you gonna keep it
loudly to myself?
Somebody else buffed it. Well, 3 other employees physically restrained Mike, and we had him bite down on a belt to keep him from screaming in pain. It was like a civil war.
I am going to nerf the buffs. They're too much.
What? But Mike,
so,
we already have the videos ready to release.
Yeah, those videos are gonna be false advertising.
Well, maybe for you.
I'm pretty sure it was buffed after the video.
I made a new video.
No, shit.
I'm recording this right now, Mike.
Zippity. Yeah, no, so of course they are being rebalanced. We're also creating new ones. That's, however, easier said than done. And yeah, so the grappling hook is very powerful, and has to be taken into account. It's also very powerful for you, but actually not very powerful for the team. So, like, yeah, we will have to figure out. But yes, again, the classes as they are in DRG and the balance that they have, this internal balance doesn't exist in Rogue Core. And likewise, we are adjusting the weapons. So while we are bringing in DRG weapons into the weapon pool, I don't think a single weapon that we've put in so far has gone in pure as it is in DRG. We're tweaking, and in the cases of some of them, I think the tweaks have gotten very extensive to the point where I would probably want to actually rename the weapon and change its model, because they have kind of like stray so far from their DRG equivalent that it's maybe a little too confusing.
Like Mike, in regards to the like traversal tools, right? I actually feel like the co-op dynamics in Rogue Core more enforce that you'd want the zipline rather than the grappling hook.
Yeah.
In Rogue
I mean,
Core, because
depends.
it matters more that your team is doing well and getting places than it is that someone who wants to get to a high space on their own.
100%.
Yeah, I really like that. That's I think that's cool.
We made Rogue Core as a platform to finally give the zipline its stay in the sun.
Yeah.
Zipline the game. Don't nerf it, Mike.
It was initially called
so
Gondola,
gonna
but we
nerf
had to change it.
No.
Bader
And
on
one thing that
YouTube.
we're actually figuring. Oh no, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's just a kind words from Bader, who says, "Love your game. Thank you for the effort you put into making it." Thank you, Bader, and Rock and Stone to you.
Thank you for playing.
What were you saying, Mike?
No, so like one of the things that we actually have been we started on but never actually took it very far, but that we are trying to figure out is whether or not, for example, or how much rolling we want to have in terms of traversal tools. So can you roll a better zip line and stuff like that, and how much better, and what kind of things can be on it, right? So we have like
Mike, please let us have a legendary zipline.
yes. But 5% faster zipping speed.
Legendary zipline's just worse.
It's so bad, it's legendary.
More like
You'll tell your
legacy
friends about
zipline.
it.
So, but I don't know. We haven't made a full decision on that. We're split on it, and right now we're not focusing on that.
Mike, we got a question from Register Me YouTube.
Yeah.
Who says, how much are you having getting to actually play Rogue Core earlier than anyone else?
Sorry, what?
Mike, how much are you having getting to actually play Rogue Core earlier than anyone else?
I'm playing Rogue Core earlier than anyone else a lot.
I think actually
no,
the
Mike,
most.
not quite. Mike, how much are you having getting to actually play Rogue Core earlier than anyone else?
I would say
It's
around.
a yes or no question,
It's
Mike.
or numerical, I guess. 5?
5.
You heard it here first. It's 5. Mike, do you have any weapons in Rogue Core that you're especially excited about? Or when you're playing personally, like playtesting, that you're like, oh, fuck yeah, this one.
Right now for me, that is the Hammercaster.
Yeah.
Which
What
does
is
not
the-
actually throw hammers.
What does it do then? What is the Hammercaster, Mike?
It's a kind of like medium fire rate gun that shoots very like heavy shots, very hard hitting, but it's not hit scan. So they do have travel time. It just feels so good. And
Is it named after the bowcaster?
I have no idea.
Isn't that from
Tim
Gears of
named
War?
that. Ask
Yeah,
Tim.
man. Well, it's Tim.
I don't know. But that gun feels good. I really like that gun. I like a lot of guns. I also really like our shock blaster. And that's an oldie, right? We've had that for a long time. And also the field blaster. A lot of
I
blasters.
like the mag blaster.
The mag blast. True. The P96 is also a very nice to shoot gun.
Mike here with the serial numbers.
Wait, what?
Just you can call it by the number. The P96.
That's in its name. That's like the
that is its name.
GK2. The P96 mag blaster.
The Hearthstone is ours.
Maggie. Most friends.
Jabberak asks if the Hammercaster is similar to the bolters from 40k. Yeah, for sure. That is a big inspiration.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh.
And fun fact is Mike actually owns a real-life functional bolter, and I once saw him threaten a cashier at 7-Eleven over it because he thought the taquitos he bought weren't even fresh. It was crazy. He had only had 9 Smirnoff Ives at this point, which is normally fine for Mike, but it was a really crazy episode.
But just so you know, I mean, like now that the model is currently being made and the bullets, you can see the bullets in it, and so unlike the bolter, there is no like gyrojet style stuff going on there. They are just big old bullets. They just have to
However,
fly
they're
through.
canonically
They're so
larger
big.
than a bolter, where if a bolter I believe is 40 millimeters and this one is 58 millimeters,
Bam.
which is
Nerd.
significant. It's a larger bore than most interwar tanks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, little body. Look what's happening.
It's Loretta.
Consider the red X. Retrieving the mule. Drop pod departed.
Mike, there was a question that was given to us long ago, and I didn't address it, but out of spite, I should say. But no,
Nice.
somebody was asking, what games have you been playing that, for you personally, have been the biggest inspiration for Rogue Core, or where you feel like have given you the biggest inspiration for features in that game?
Man, that's a good question.
It's not Binding of Isaac.
It's not Binding of Isaac. That is correct. It is not Binding of Isaac. Deeper Galactic.
Good
heard of
choice.
it.
Good choice.
So I don't know. I mean, so I played quite a lot of. We've been playing a lot of co-op rogue likes and lights and all that stuff. And of course through that there's a lot of like get affected, and it influences our design and stuff like that. But if I had to choose a specific game that it's actually hard. I don't know.
Just say RoboQuest.
Yeah, but it's
Raid
not.
2 and Robocross were big ones for you earlier, like. in the
Yeah, I mean, again, play those, and they're very important games, and they're also important games in the genre to consider. Also, Witchfire, actually, I think has also been a game we've played a lot and talked a lot about. Yeah, so. Yeah, I mean, I'll say like all those games have influenced Rogue Core in one way or another, whether it's by things that we liked in them or things that we didn't like in them.
Or by taking time away from development.
Also that, yeah. Also Gunfire Reborn, something we played quite a bit about. Yeah, I think that's the best answer I can give you. A lot of games have influenced Rogue Core, and
Did you play a lot of Witchfire, Mike? I only played like a few hours and really liked it, but got distracted by some other shit. Forgot what.
I don't know exactly how many hours I have. I played a good number of sessions, and then yeah, I also kind of lost. I don't know.
I think it's really
But I had
good.
fun.
But I think it has like a lot of like the whole old school gameplay from the Painkiller game.
Yeah, reasonable.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think for me it was just like this returning to the islands over and over again.
Yeah, this is like a weird loop. You kind of have to get into, I think.
Yeah, and I think I felt like at some point I got into a grind, and I didn't like being in that grind, and I don't know. But if you haven't tried it, you definitely should go give it a try. I think it's a really cool game and does a lot of cool, interesting stuff. When are they releasing? Actually, I don't know. Because they're in early access right now, right?
Yeah, they've been for a while, but on Epic first, I think.
Okay. No, but it is a single player, but and it's not like pure. It's not really a roguelite or a roguelike. I mean, I think they initially branded it as such, but it's just a cool game. Give it a spin if you're into it, that kind of stuff, or at least check it out.
Got time for one more round.
Yeah, we got it, baby. Let's go party. Pepper Ice Cream over on Twitch asks a non-Rogue Core question, which is, are there 7-Elevens in Denmark, and what are they like? Yeah, there are. They're fairly... At least in Copenhagen there are. Outside of Copenhagen, I think Aarhus has them.
Yeah, I think that they're actually they're running like all of the the stores on train stations. They have a license for that. So I think it's a vastly different kind of like store from the US, right?
Yeah, in my experience, in the Midwest there weren't a ton of 7-Elevens. I feel like what would Quick Trip generally filled that niche of like. I guess does 7-Eleven even do gas? I never.
No. What? Gas?
No,
I mean, technically it could be like the store at a gas station, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, basically, what a 7-Eleven is just like a gas station store without the gas, or like they have the same flavor.
That's true.
But yeah, no, I would say food or like overall quality of a 7-Eleven here is much higher than I was used to in the US. Like if you were to be like, yeah, I had lunch at a 7-Eleven in the US, it would be like, dude, are you okay? Whereas here is, you can get a fine sandwich here. It's not like anything would be amazing, but you can get a solid fresh sandwich made there and stuff like that. It's not like Japanese 7-Elevens, but they're pretty solid.
Are those cool or what?
What? Oh yeah,
Japanese 7-Eleven's cool.
I've never been to Japan, but I've just been on the internet enough to know that they have like just a legendary reputation for being like really.
I heard they have like a nigiri that's really good, and I think they actually introduced that here too.
Really?
Like recently, I think you can get it. Yeah.
No.
What is that?
I think it's like rice with salmon or chicken wrapped in seaweed, like a triangle square like sandwich thing.
Okay. Good old triangle square sandwich.
Yeah.
I like it.
Americans in the chat confirming that all 7-Elevens in the U.S. have gas.
For real? Like also in big cities?
I don't know, big cities, but
I don't remember. Like in New York, I don't remember 7-Eleven having gas.
yeah, I mean, I guess probably not New York, but
That's
then
fast.
again, like in New York, you'd have like bodegas that would fill the niche of what a 7-Eleven would be if it didn't have gas.
But there were also, I remember there being a 7-Eleven. Like as a teenager, I would get a freaking burrito at 7-Eleven. The wrong hours of the night.
Or honestly, for a burrito from 7-Eleven, the absolute right hours of the night.
I guess. Yes.
I got slorped by a leech. Speaking of slorping, I have a question from Intrafacial86 over in YouTube who says, Aaron, I've been enjoying Smokandi cigars, but now I've got the munchies for some chocolate-coated nuts. Do you have a brand you'd recommend? I am so grateful you brought that up because, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the sponsor of today's stream, which is, of course, our good friends over at the Secondi's Food and Beverage Company. Secondi's has partnered up with Ghost Ship Games to make this stream possible. Them, in addition to the Central Intelligence Agency, are the stream's biggest sponsors. Secondi's family is Secondi's company was founded in 1907 in Pennsylvania. They are and always have been family-owned and operated. And they first became known for their delightfully carbonated root beer, but are now known all around the world for their nuts. Today you can find Secondi's nuts in flavor varieties such as Bulgarian leather, secretly barbecue, chrome-plated nuts,
leather.
as well as docile salt, and many other flavor varieties and limited editions.
Docile salt.
Yes, sir. Just the softest touch of salt. And
Like Mike.
Exactly.
Just like me.
Yeah. So next time you are down at the next time you're on vacation And you're the
is.
first one at the pool because you're doing it German tourist style. So you've got to the pool at 5:30 in the morning, so you can put your towel down on the beach chairs that you want. And you've just set out 8 towels for your disgustingly huge family. And then suddenly somebody else comes up with a big bundle of towels, and they're trying to put them over your beach towels. And you look in the eye and you realize that it's the first day of vacation, and it's 5:30 in the morning. The sun has barely even risen over sunny beach in Bulgaria, and already you're about to get into a fist fight in the pool. You can make peace by looking the stranger in the eye, opening up your snack pouch and saying, buddy, Secondi's nuts. So look for them wherever you get your nuts. That's Secondi's nuts. They are busting with flavor.
Thank you, Aaron.
No problem, Mike. I mean, somebody's got to get the money flowing at Ghost Ship Games. I'll get again $800,000 from Secondi's every time I mention the name. So.
How about you do some revives instead of making bread? I'm trying, but they're not returning my mails.
I was doing my scout job. Oh god. Oh, actually, this is really bad for me. Mike, why did you make a game like this?
I don't know.
So you could second these nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the thing in the ceiling? I think we're just missing like one nodule. But yeah, great. Oh, that's good. Nice. All I ever wanted. What the?
It's raining a lot now. Shit.
Over at the office or in the cave?
Oh, that's a bulk. That's a bulk.
Outside.
I've got the bulk.
Fuck. That's not gonna help me. Oh, that's a leech. Holy shit. Ah! Okay, I'm safe. What the fuck? Oh, and then lead the fuck.
How are you guys doing? I'm not doing awesome.
Oh,
I'll say
I've been better. I've definitely been off the top.
Oh! I was about to zip and I got leeched. Oh, that's GG's for me.
This is messed up, guys.
You're messed up.
Wow, Mike. Wow.
Mike, one question for you. Why the fuck would
Yeah.
you make a game like this?
For this exact moment.
Oh, dude. Oh, this didn't go high. Oh, dude, this is looking absolutely abysmal. Yeah, nope, terrible for me.
Mike,
Well,
why are you
Hunter
standing behind me, Mike? That's fucking scary.
Nice. Yeah.
Mike, go away with your phone microphone. I can hear myself. Mike!
Good.
I blame Mike.
Jack
cool.
Nicholson says, "When will you release the 6th season?"
Yeah,
for
Jack
God's sake?"
Nicholson.
You should be a retired actor. Mind your own business. Go make The Departed 2 or something.
Oh, that was a good movie.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Pretty good one.
Is
Yeah,
Jack
the sequel
Nicholson
is
still
amazing.
alive?
I assume so.
I mean, he is in Twitch chat or YouTube
Does
chat
he
or
do
wherever.
the same? Does he do the same Leonardo DiCaprio thing where he only has girlfriends who are 25 years old or under, or is that just Leonardo DiCaprio?
I have no idea.
I don't know why I have him. I feel like he probably. I don't know. If
He
does
used to. Some.
Too busy fucking making a roll core. So.
I'm so surprised that we've not failed this mission.
Hold on.
They still young.
This is still there.
Let me rephrase. I'm so surprised that we could never fail this mission. A remarkable clutch here.
Oh, great, a menace. Oh, great, Mike. Love it.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Hunter Ito 00 on Twitch says, question, have you drawn any inspiration from Risk of Rain 2? Yeah, we mentioned that about 15 minutes ago. But yes, we have.
Bramble is down.
We might. Alright, Jacob, it's just you.
Where is everyone? I got the Aaron down there. Oh shit. What the fuck you?
I think
Nothing.
one of the like stronger influences from this game to what is the whole timer thing. Although we don't do a timer across the entire run, we are instead resetting it per stage.
Ah.
Oh, watch out.
Oh, this is
There's a
fine.
menace above. There's a Clifford menace. Sonic 340 says, I love the newsletter and the humor put in it. Keep up the good work. Aw, thank you, Sonic. That's me who writes it, so I really appreciate you saying that you like it. And if you're watching this and you say, huh? What newsletter? Because you're eating a big bowl of spaghetti really sloppy like a kid and it's all over your shirt and you're like, oh, what newsletter? Well, listen, buddy, you can upgrade your whole life. You can change your ways and begin on a path of enlightenment and knowledge. And it starts with going over to the contact feed on the Ghost Ship Games website and subscribing to the newsletter. It's written by yours truly, goes out every month on the last day of the month, or last business day of the month, and give you a little insider stuff on what we're up to over at Ghost Ship. Sometimes some cool concept art, little secrets, fun little stories, a little joke or two. So check it out, because I know everyone loves emails, and a lot of times people come up to me and they go, Aaron, I got a problem, buddy. I'm not getting enough emails in my life. My inbox is dry. I need more mails, and that's initially why, where this whole thing cooked off. So give it a subscribe, please, or don't. That's fine. If you have other emails that you are busy. That's cool too. Chancellors over in Twitch says, question: how soon, TM, can we expect to play Rogue Core? Within your lifetime, for sure.
For sure.
Hopefully.
I mean, again, no. So, I mean, the plan is Q2. Right?
What
we
year,
want
Mike?
to
What year?
What year? This fucking year, goddamn.
All right.
So, assuming everything goes reasonably within parameters for the plan, it's going to be Q2. If it's not Q2, then we will have to push the, I think, early access release and everything. So second half of spring, somewhere there. We'll of course try to get. Yeah, when we know, we'll of course say, but that's the plan.
I would just like to say this is a remarkable clutch by everyone on the team.
Who's on the team, by the way?
Me and Jacob and some randoms.
Well done, randoms. Thanks for carrying. Aaron, Jacob.
Listen, Mike, this is my first time playing this game, okay? Give me a break.
And you're doing amazing.
Thank you, Mike.
Oh, I got to watch some, because we have some interns from school stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They were playing ROCK Core for the first time.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can't believe you let them play before our fans, Mike. How dare you?
It's an internship. It's like saying, how dare I let you play it before our fans?
Can't we offer that to everyone? When is the open internship going out, Mike?
And Ghost Ship Games. Yes. Let's go. Instead of a closed alpha sign-up, it's an internship sign-up.
And if you're wondering how you can be so lucky as to try Rogue Core in its current state, all you need to do is be one of 4 Danish elementary school age children who applied to get the chance. And if you're not already one of those kids, bad luck. You gotta wait like the rest of them.
So,
I mean, I had to go through elementary school to get here, so I mean, it's
No, but it's cool. It's cool to see which things worked right off the bat and which things they didn't even notice. Like the timer, for example. It might as well have not been there.
How do you mean it might they weren't aware of it?
They weren't aware of it.
it also doesn't look like a timer currently. I mean, it's fair.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, totally.
Isn't that just because Zoomers can't read clocks?
Also that.
Have you tried making the interface like an iPad?
Doesn't even look like a clock, but yeah. We actually were talking about putting an actual number up there, like an actual countdown, and maybe that's something worth trying. Because it is important and it gives important information. So, but yeah, and things like the whole the process. I mean, and of course, some of this is learning. And again, these are the first time that they played it, and they haven't played ROCK Galactic before either. They played it, I think, 6 times in the past, like yesterday and stuff like that. And then now they were trying ROCK Core. So there was an example of like some young people just getting into this for the
Getting
first time.
eaten by swarmers here.
But they obviously played games and stuff like that. They play shooters, so it wasn't anything like that. But yeah, it was an interesting.
Have you changed anything in ROCK Core based on their feedback, Mike?
No.
Now you can do
are you
Fortnite.
I did not ask their feedback. I just watched them play for a bit.
How do I get
You
out?
can, can now
But that
floss.
gives information. Yeah. No, I'm really curious, or excited and curious for when
Oh, there it is.
people get access to ROCK Core. Try that. That's gonna be so cool.
Oops. I got my little scout ass killed.
Repairing the cargo crate.
Nice. Tom over YouTube says, Aaron, you really should make a monthly newsletter that can also be read from a website and not just an email sign-up. It seems like an untapped market. You're right, but nah. If the day
Sign up for the damn
comes,
newsletter.
if the day comes where like I have 2 consecutive weeks where I don't have anything else I have to do, I might get around to that. Until then, I'll probably just keep doing it as a newsletter.
I think it's a built-in feature in newsletter thing, isn't it?
Jacob, don't say unhealthy things.
I'm just saying. I mean, we could get Mark to do it.
Yeah. Whoa! Shots fired.
Ooh, danger dice for Scoot's boomstick. Very nice.
Automate this process.
Can't believe we're still playing this map.
You haven't finished it yet.
I mean, we're not dead yet.
I mean, I'm impressed. Time-wise, we're doing okay. I'm mostly just amazed that we did not get killed.
Well done. Pipeline successfully established.
Good enough.
Another pump jack connected to the refinery. Just one more to go.
Bobazar says, question. Oh, wait, no, that's not Bobazar's. Olibria says, how are you planning your marketing for ROCK Core? Any sponsors, streams, or just relying on the current DRG fanatics? I mean, we're hoping on a lot of word of mouth, but also we have a marketing team, so we're still doing that. Also, we're sponsoring a Premier League football team. So I think probably Manchester United is we're going to sponsor it, as it's just going to be the ROCK Core team now.
They're gonna change their name to the Reclaimers, right? The
Exactly.
Manchester Reclaimers.
Actually, back
Yeah.
when I was an indie developer, we actually sponsored the World Championship of Dodgeball a year.
I actually
Because
we
we
got
made
an
a
email
dodgeball
on.
game.
That's okay. That makes sense. That's a pretty good one. We got an email actually from I think like some smaller Danish football team to ask if we want to sponsor them the other week. But I said I don't know if this makes sense for us.
Sponsoring a football team.
Usually they're looking for like shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like fast food places that does it in our local area.
But that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I don't think like putting the Go Ship logo on a football jersey makes sense.
Ooh, Mike, another question that I forgot to ask a while back.
Yeah?
Somebody was asking about Beastmaster perk and if there will be a creature that you can Steveify in any such plans?
No such plans. No such plans. And to me, Or make of like playing with a sword once there's all this dangerous.
What?
Fucking being a samurai. But what do you call it? No, and to me the core spawn. I don't know. The idea of like taming one of them feels, nah, that doesn't feel right to me.
I know some of the fans already want to name one of them Dennis. Oh shit.
Yes, which our programmer Dennis was all like, no way. But I'll tell you what, if for some reason we do it, we'll name it Dennis.
The extraction has stopped. Pipelines need maintaining.
But right now, yeah, no. But there is like, I mean, Anas has this whole thing. He was designing a class, kind of like a necromancer. He was calling it the nanomancer. That would kind of like create meat golems from the dead bodies and stuff like that. So that feels a little bit like it. Yeah.
Well, like a minigame where you can just like pick parts from different enemies, just put them together as your golem.
As your pet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh!
But that class is a long time in the making, so not yet. But I really want to try it. I think that could be super cool.
The Nanomancer class sounds really cool.
Use.
Hang in there. Supplies are underway.
I'm hurt! I need help! Come and rescue me!
How many experimental classes do we currently have in the works?
One that is like in full prototype and is actually in the game, and we'll just pull it out for when we do the initial closed alpha, because it's not going to be ready, and we're not going to allocate time to it right now. We have so much other shit that we need to do. And that's the backtracker. Then we have the Gorgon, which needs to get a rework, possibly a rename, but maybe not. For those that don't know, the Gorgon was like putting enemies into stasis, so they couldn't hurt you, but you couldn't hurt them, and that didn't work out as we hoped. And then there is the Nanoman. Yeah, exactly. And it was super powerful, but it was like you really had to coordinate with it, like with the rest of your team, or else you just get in each other's way. So it was a little too much go up, if you will. Yeah, then we have the Nanomancer as well. And I know that, like there's some more that we have like purely on paper. Because I really want us to have a lot of classes, or as many as make sense, so that they also play nice and kind of uniquely and things like that. But yeah. But right now we have the Spotter, the Falconeer, the Guardian, and the Slicer.
Do you have a favorite, Mike?
Right now my favorite has been the Guardian. I've just been really enjoying because like his ability cooldown is really fast, and it's an ability that I want to use all the time, and has synergies with other things. So right now it's been the Guardian. Although apparently the Guardian broke if you're client, so like if you're client, he doesn't really work. Womp womp.
Can you play as duplicate classes in Rogue Core like you can in Deep Rock?
Yes. Though I think we're also gonna add in the option where hosts can say no dupes.
Okay, it's the same Deep Rock structure.
Yeah, because I mean it's also fun to do duplicates. We'll have to, of course, as in DRG, figure out in terms of think like anything getting too crazy. I don't know. I know like not last week, but the week before last, right in the previous sprint, stacking Falconeers was just broken.
Okay.
People were beating the hard run. It's like, oh, it's not so hard. It's like, oh yeah, well, how'd you play? Oh, we were all Falconeer. So, and yeah, there's a lot of balancing that's gonna be coming in there, where again you need to balance the classes against each other in Rogue Core. Yep. I would say more so actually than we've done in DRG. So in DRG the classes brought so much like special unique stuff besides like weapons. Like I mean, because in ROCK they're bringing less, it makes it easier to make classes. It makes it possible for us to have much more classes, but it does also mean that those classes need to be better balanced against each other, so that each class is a reasonable option. Yeah. So, and I think we're halfway there already. Living on a prayer.
Alright, what else? We have 86%. Sheesh. Mike, do you have any, like, for ROCK, are there any, like, wish list items from DRG that you never had, we never had the time or bandwidth to implement that we feel like are, like, that you're able to experiment with the ROCK?
Yeah. More guns, new guns.
Yeah?
Yeah, so that door has been opened. That's very nice. So
Are the guns right now that are implemented stuff that you had like drafted for Deep Rock?
Nope. Because I mean, for Deep Rock, like we never kind of gotten to the point where we were like, okay, let's make some more guns.
Yeah.
So we never really did any more drafting, if you will. But yeah, so that part, that's been super cool. That we're able to do that, and we can continue doing that. Guns, tools, like all these things that in DRG normally would come either that we would have to make 4 of them, right, 1 for each class, and then like they would have to be balanced up against existing things. And there's like, yeah, the idea of doing new tools in DRG is also almost like I mean, really almost impossible because tools, again, more so than guns, are part of the class identity. Whereas we don't have those constraints in ROCK, so that's super cool.
Shredder swarm deployed.
Just realized our lampshades are made of cardboard.
Yeah, but they're like tasteful, fancy cardboard, Mike.
Yeah. That they are. Very tasty. Are you guys still playing the same mission?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Wow. For real? It's taking so long. Are you playing a deep dive?
I don't know, Mike. You made this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, never imagined. You guys.
No, we just we spent the first 20 minutes just running around getting constantly murdered, and then the next. It's also just a really big cave that's hard to light.
Yeah.
The classic Deep Rock fiasco.
And
then we're waiting on Jacob, who is. Well, I don't really know what Jacob's doing.
I was out watching at a meeting of our timeshare, so hold on.
No
hold
worries,
on.
man. Really good investment, by the way.
Yeah. It's how you got me the meeting, right? Because you wanted to share. Let's see. That's fine. I'm good. I got turret. Ah, shit, no. That's turret. No.
Oh, Jacob. Oh, fuck. Okay, hold on. I've got a minute.
Got any
to
more
get you-
questions?
Why, Mike? Why?
Why?
Why is it?
Because you deserve it.
All right, let's get Jacob back up here, and then let's get out of here. How
How am I supposed to get up there, though?
zip line or
fuck.
platforms?
Wait, I'm just gonna die instead.
Mike, somebody called Onion Flurmelt says, question, is it possible that double anomalies could come in the future instead of double warnings?
When you say anomaly, no, okay, in DRG. This is a DRG question. Not a
Yeah.
Right. Double anomaly. Yes, I guess they could, but I mean, I'd rather do triple warnings. Yes.
You almost here, Jacob? Oh, nice. Hey, Cub. We have 20 seconds.
I don't want to play this game anymore.
It's not happening, bro. Scott of Furio's not taking a bath. Oh, boy. Bye, guys.
Heading for orbit. Good work. We're pulling you back in.
Nice work, Jacob.
I blame Mark.
Oh, nice. Level 90 on the performance pass. What do I get here? Anything cool? Oh, the Ember Beard. Alright.
Okay, now I can see the YouTube chat when they're commenting on my death.
Everyone laughing at you?
I don't know, laughing with me.
Yeah, big guy. They're laughing with you.
This is nice.
That's a very toxic behavior.
Well,
I'll take this one.
I guess that's enough computer games for today. Mom says I should quit and go outside.
Damn it, Mom.
this is why the stream stops at 3. Mom comes home from work and gets mad at us because we forgot to defrost the chicken. We have to quit playing games. Oh. Well, Jacob Arkin, it's time we find a little person to hit a little Twitch raid.
Yeah.
If you are watching on Twitch, stay tuned. We'll do a little raid on somebody else playing Deep Rock Galactic out there on Twitch. And whether you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, just want to say thank you very much for tuning in, for your questions, for your jokes, for hanging out with us today. If you don't already subscribe, consider doing so. We'd love to have you join us another time. We do stream every Tuesday and Thursday, starting at 1 o'clock CEST, baby, 1 o'clock Central European Time. And we'd love to have you join us again. Special thanks to Mr. Mike for joining us and for sharing just a little bit of his big wealth of Rogue Core knowledge. Mike, you're a beautiful genius. Thank you so much.
Glad to be here.
And otherwise, let's hear anything to plug? Nothing. You know what? Stay tuned on the Rogue Core Steam page. See what's going on there. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
That's my tip for you for this week.
Good tip.
My little tip from me to you. And with that, we will be back on Thursday where we are streaming Elite Deep Dives, and certainly they will go just as well as this did. So, we'd love to see you then. Otherwise, have a lovely rest of your day wherever you may be in this big wide world of ours. Rock and stone to you, and take it easy out there.
Rock and stone!
Rock and stone.